Yo, it's your boy Beast Mode. Welcome to episode 9 of my Vienna series. We got a great positional game ahead of us. Real quick, if you want to play, add me on chess.com. I'll post a game recap of our game. Drop a comment down below. Other than that, let's go ahead and dive in. We got the Vienna, e4, e5, knight c3, and our opponent goes for the Max Lange Defense. So we know our response, bishop c4, and they go copycat. So we bring our queen out to queen g4. They slide their king over to f8, so we drop our queen back, and we're putting pressure on this f7 pawn here. They develop the knight. We develop our knight to stop their knight jump right here. They go d6, we go d3, and then they bring their bishop out. If they hadn't brought their bishop out, our next move was probably going to be h3 to stop this move from happening. But our only move here, queen g3, and then they jump in with their knight. We go ahead and trade. We jump forward with our knight. They trade again, which is it's not the best move. Eval has us at +1 so far. And then they just decided to drop their bishop back to c8. Best move for me here is just to castle and play on from here, but I decided to get a little aggressive. I go bishop g5, which I don't know the theory up to this point. We'll have to check that after the game. I go bishop g5. And then here, I need to just drop back to d2 and stop this check here. But I miss it, and I thought queen f3 looked alright. And overall, the reason I played this bishop move here is to just move the queen around, or if they do play this move, which they did, it's a big positional weakness, right? Weakening one of the squares in front of their king. But I go queen f3, they can't take because the pawn's pinned. It's an inaccurate move though. They attack my bishop, and I just slide it all the way back. I castle. They go develop their light square bishop, going for the trade. I'm going to trade on my own terms though. I'm not going to take there. And I get my rook into the center of the board. They take, I take back. They jump their king forward, and they're going to castle by hand, bring the rooks over. Here, I played the bishop h4. I needed to, again, bring my bishop back to d2. Alright, so this is something I need to remember going forward. Is protect this diagonal with the bishop, or this diagonal right here. If I went h4, I give a check here, and then I push forward with my f pawn, getting another pawn into the game, kind of leading the charge. Offers the queen trade. I don't want that. I slide back. Now I'm behind the pawn. My queen gets the support. And I think they're going for the double rooks here. So I push my f-pawn forward again, make them drop back, and then I get my bishop on a more active diagonal, putting pressure on this d-pawn here. Get their other rook in the center, and then I start launching my h-pawn forward. They go d5, and here I have the move e5, which is the best, because if they take, I'm supposed to trade with a rook, and then play from this position here. Right, slide my queen over, putting pressure right in front of their king, and eventually I'm gonna get my other rook over here as well. But I missed that, and I go king h1. And the reason is, I thought if they take, I'm gonna take back, and then I just didn't want to be involved in any like discovered checks. So I thought sliding my king out of the way was a good idea. Computer thinks otherwise though. So they take. I'm supposed to go for this position right here, but I take back with the pawn, and then I just start launching my my h-pawn forward. I'm gonna go for the doubling of the rooks. They slide their bishop back, and then I bring my bishop out. Just kind of make them undouble themselves, and then I go back to g3, but I'm supposed to go to f4. And then with this pawn push, it's just putting a lot of pressure on the king side. But I missed that. I go g3, and then here I play the move the b4, and the reason is if I ever want to push my c pawn, the queen's staring right at my b pawn here, so I didn't want to leave it hanging, and it also stops the bishop from going to any of these diagonals as well. Goes bishop c7, I trade, and then here I'm supposed to go rook to d3 and attack that d pawn, but I decided, screw it, I'm just going to launch all my pawns forward and see what happens. Kind of running a little bit low on time here, so I don't have time to calculate a ton. Go rook rook a to e1, double my rooks. I'm supposed to just go to d1 here, but I missed it. And then I decide to bring my rook over the g file and continue with this onslaught. But again, I'm just supposed to go to d1. Bring my queen up, and my thought process here is, again, I'm going to push this pawn here, try to open up the king. He takes my pawn over there, and then I go g5, and I take, queen takes, and then h6. Queen cannot take here is a big blunder because the pawn's pinned, they can't take back. So my opponent's good enough though, he saw that. He went king h8, take with the rook, we trade, and then they slide over to king g8. If they took, I would have gone rook to h2, and then marched my king over to protect these pawns over here. Which I should have done anyway, but I thought since he didn't take the pawn, the position was a little different. He takes here, I get my queen out of the way, threatening the pin. So he moves the queen, I give a check, check again, check, and then boom, I win the queen, just like that. I got 44 seconds on the clock, so I'm moving pretty quick here. Take, and then it's barbecue chicken from here, right? Start pushing the pawns forward, check, and then pawn here, and it's mate on the board, mate in 1. I have 39 seconds, so I didn't see it, so I take back, and then I find it, and checkmate. So let's go over to our opening analysis and see how we did in the opening. So looking at our analysis board, let's see how I did in the opening, and see how well I was prepared. E4, E5, knight C3. Got this position, bishop C5, queen G4, and then they went king F8. Drop the queen back like I'm supposed to. Here they played knight F6, and that's as far as I go in my opening for this line here. In the game, I believe my opponent went D6, and then I played D3, which is the correct move, so we'll save that. Let's go back here though. Top line for my opponent is knight to D4. I feel like this is something I should have prepared. So my opponent goes knight D4, trade, E takes D4, and then I'm supposed to go knight D5, and then see what they play from here. So I'll have that saved as well going forward. But back to the game, D6, D3, correct move, and then they went bishop G4, and then I played the correct move, queen G3. This isn't an exact line, I know, but it's a similar position to another line that I had in my repertoire, so that's how I knew of the move queen G3. And then they went here. It's inaccurate. We take, they took back, and then interesting. So in the game, I went knight D5. I think this move is better though. Knight to A4, attacking the bishop, and we get the dark square bishop of the board, and we get the bishop pair. So that's good to know going forward. I'll save that, and we expanded our repertoire down this line. Again, thanks for watching. If you want to play, drop a comment down below. I'll post a game recap. I'll see you next time.